Alex, I see you. And Steve, thank you. Stell, thank you. Blake, attendees, stick around if you're a DAX trader or any kind of trader. I've been looking forward to this interview for a while. So I'm making you the presenter, Alex, and look forward to hearing your voice, seeing your screen. Drop-down menu above you. You got it.
Yes. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Can, Alex. Great to meet you and hear your voice.
So, good morning, Dale. Hello, guys.
Very nice to meet you, Alex. So I told you I was going to start here. You could hear me clearly, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, you know, it's a long and winding road in trading, but it's also a very interesting road on how people get involved in this in the first place, and, you know, what they were doing prior and how they ended up doing this. Who do you have to blame for you ending up in this industry?
It's a very good question.
And more importantly, have you forgiven them?
Yes, I did. Actually,
okay. So go ahead, tell us about your story.
I got involved in this stock market thing probably in the year 2005, 2006. I was working my first job and put my savings, like every other good Austrian, into my bank, into a bank managed fund or life insurance or whatever. And
conservative,
yes. It was
okay.
That time of the stock market where everything went up. There was only one direction. And for some reason, I don't know, the first broker houses emerged in Austria, and for some reason, I thought, well, Alex, you can do it better than your bank. Yeah. And I decided to open an account and closed my bank managed fund and put all the savings into my brokerage account and started buying single stocks, American single stocks. And actually, I did not know what I bought.
Okay.
And it was right at
Why did you buy them? Because of what you heard from others, and then you didn't do the due diligence yourself? Is that what you're telling us? I mean, what sparked you to buy these things anyway? You read about them in a newspaper, you just knew the brand, like Apple or something like that, and said, yeah, everyone should own Apple. Was that how you bought?
Yes, I knew the brand. But actually, it was the time where everything went up, and so I thought it goes up forever, you know?
Yeah.
And then we had summer 2007, and it stopped moving up.
Right.
And
so this is where you learn your lesson in risk management and leverage.
This was the first. This was the first lesson, and I almost lost everything. And I came up with two questions to myself. Learn how the stock market works or leave it. And actually I decided to study the stock market, and by then it was 2008, and I got into technical charting, and
who influenced you? Who influenced you with your technical work that you do? You know, we all have, you know, people that we've seen or learned from. Did you have a mentor at all, or are you completely self-taught?
No, I am completely self-taught.
Okay.
I read books, literature, for sure. But for the most things in my life, I'm this self-taught guy.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
All right, so let's see your setup. Let's see your setup on the screen. Right now, I'm just seeing a picture of you and your Twitter handle. There we go. So there's your setup. So that tells, oh, looking at lunar eclipses. Okay, so Balkan. So it looks like you integrate a lot of different kinds of work. You have these fan lines that look interesting to me on both the top and the bottom, and obviously, you're in Austria. Is that why you gravitated towards the DAX?
Yes, that's
hours, hours, and more of a native market to you rather than the S&P.
Yeah, correct. Because
right.
I think most people in Europe trade the German DAX because it's a very liquid market.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So tell us a little bit about these fan lines and what they represent.
I just want to
go ahead.
Tell you how I came to those lines, because that's the very last aspect, Gann. And after technical analysis and when I got comfortable with charting, started trading index derivatives, and it got more and more and more, and I think it was 2011 was a big time of decision in my life, because my broker called me for some client event. Okay, you trade with us, you trade much, you're not bad. We want you to invite you for a client event, and actually this was the time where I got involved with the finance industry, with the professional finance industry, and 2012 I actually started working as an asset manager in Vienna.
Wow, right near the bottom, right near the DAX low of 2011, late 2011. Good timing, man.
12 I started. Yeah. I have a completely different background. I studied medicine, and actually 2009, 2010 I started my medical career, and I quit it. I quit it for trading in the year 2011.
Wow. Were you already a doctor?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your? Did you have a specialty?
I was specializing in reproductive medicine.
Oh my gosh, what a leap. Not many people would take a leap from a career like that. So, wow, you obviously you didn't enjoy it that much, did you?
Excuse me?
It couldn't have just been the money, right? Because you make good money doing that, right? So, I mean, what was it that made you give up medicine for trading? Because I've never heard of anyone doing that before. I mean, doing both, but not giving it up for the other.
Doing both wasn't possible. Okay. Because when you have to work when you are at the clinic, you cannot trade the DAX for obvious reasons.
Right. Okay. I got it.
And actually, this time it was a big transition in the medical system here in Austria, and
it went more socialized.
It became more bureaucratic, and I would say,
and less money.
Yes, less money.
Okay, all right.
More work for the same money, actually.
I see. Okay.
So I took that decision. Yeah. I mean, medicine is just I like it. I still like it. I love it. I'm still interested in, but trading is my life now. So it was the right decision. It was the right decision.
Okay.
And
Well, you could look back now and see that. So, okay, that's a very interesting part of your journey. So, 2012, you're now in the finance industry. You're working for
right,
what, an asset gatherer, a hedge fund, for who?
it was a fund. It was a
Okay.
small cap fund, small firm in Austria. We had 3 funds running, and yeah, we managed it. I actually questioned myself at this time because I was settled with chart tech and all those chart technical aspects, and the question for me was, what makes the stock market, you know?
Yeah.
And I wanted to know more about that factors affecting the stock market besides from economic data.
Right.
And
so you start looking at time with Gann and cycles.
This was the final stage. Yeah, this was not the beginning. Again,
what do you think of this statement? I heard it from a guy I interviewed. The market's job is to convince you it's something that it isn't.
Yes. At this time, I would sign that statement. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I love that line.
Yeah. Because in 2012, actually those factors, and I had probably from my medical background, I was looking for a let's call it neuropsychological approach, which affects the humans, the traders, buying and selling stocks. And
you mean like NLP?
Not necessary.
Okay.
The thing I discovered, or the thing I went into, actually was, I'll bring it here. Geomagnetism and the solar activity.
Oh, okay.
Which affect humans' brains.
Okay.
And
is that off of whose work is that? Was that like Wheeler? I know there are a lot of people that the sun and what kind of cycle it's in matters a lot to them. So
not actually the sun cycles. It's the solar activity itself. Yeah?
The sun spots.
Right, the sun spots and the coronal mass ejections and those particles which are ejected into space and to Earth.
It's been pretty dormant lately, hasn't it?
Excuse me?
It's been pretty quiet on the sun as far as that's concerned, which is some people will interpret as a bit bearish when there aren't a lot of those ejections or solar bursts of the quiet nature. Go ahead.
Actually, here we are 2019, and we're at a low as far as sunspots, active sunspots is concerned.
Looks like it doesn't do anything until 2022 either. You have it projected out there.
Yeah, right.
Very low for the next 3 years. Okay.
But actually, in that time when I started dealing with that, 12, 13, and 14, it was pretty good, and I got the data from some NASA website, and this was public data, and you could correlate quite well those things to the stock market.
Did they help you with turning points? In the market? Okay, so
not necessarily turning points, but times of higher volatility.
Okay.
And you see that paper from 2003. the impact of geomagnetic storms on international stock market returns, which actually proved this. When you look here at the conclusions, statistically as well as economically significant.
Interesting.
Yeah. But for a sudden reason, it stopped working. And last week I was looking for other scientific sources for this effect, and came up with a paper from the ETH Zurich. It's a well-known technical university. Geomagnetic storms and the stock market from 2018.
Yeah.
With a nice conclusion. The causality between geomagnetic storms and their effects on the power grid, which would in turn affect transition speeds of trades for high-frequency firms. So the conclusion is that basically the machines took over by now, and there are less traders, and so it doesn't have the effect it had once.
Okay, so it had more effect on humans,
Correct.
less effect on algos and machines, and
Correct.
less it's such a severe situation that it puts down the grid, and then no one can trade. Okay,
Correct.
interesting. Okay, go ahead.
Then I came into cycles. The business cycle, 1 year cycle, 5 year, 9 year, whatever. And question myself, what makes cycles? Actually, what is time? And I got into those astronomical things, planets and solar system.
Okay. Well, I interviewed a guy named Norm Winsky, and he said first and foremost, Gann was an astrologer.
Mm-hmm. I'm not so in astrology. I'm more the astronomy guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he was an astronomer because he used, but he was an astrologer because he used astronomy to predict market movement. So, some people don't, an astrologer isn't necessarily someone who says, is going to draw up your chart and tell you, you should get married next week. they can, I don't know, maybe you'd want to see another one for a second opinion, but, they do use planetary, and transits and retrogrades and all of that. So you have gone to every esoteric form of analyzing the market that's out there so far that I understand. And how do you put all that together? All those different disciplines, and what's it telling you about what's going on now? So now that we know you studied almost, a lot of the lost arts. Mm-hmm. There aren't a lot of guys out there that really still use Gann. Do you have a Gann wheel? Do you use a Gann wheel?
No, I don't use it.
Okay.
Basically, I use two aspects of Gann, and that's the geometrical mathematical aspect, and the astronomical aspect. As far as eclipses and celestial phenomena is concerned.
How about planetary oppositions?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. See?
A very good example.
I'm crazy like you. I've been called a lunatic.
Very good example. Planetary opposition. But here. There was a Mars opposition on July 27th last year.
Yeah.
On the same day, we had a lunar eclipse. And so for me, it could have been some turning point as far as time is concerned. And actually in the European market, it was right there, July 27.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see what happened actually.
Okay.
So this factor time is very important to me. There are some.
What kind of time windows do you see coming up here? Any particular event? We have a supermoon today, right? Does that mean anything to you?
Probably yes. More important is the fact
I like your charts.
144, it's a very important number for Gann traders. And I always play with that 144, either in trading days or calendar days. That depends.
So we're almost 144 away from what previous cycle?
Correct.
Okay.
So in my opinion, we could expect some change in trend by the end of this week.
Okay.
We have to
So,
wait.
I mean, you're looking at the DAX. The DAX recovery has been very weak compared to what's happened in the U.S. So,
Yeah.
but we have been heading up all this year since, the end of last year. So would that imply that you'd be looking for a turning point this week to send the market back down with trend?
Correct.
And you'd be looking for, okay,
Correct.
so you'd be looking for a change in this counter.
Absolutely not convinced in this rally we saw in January, and that steep decline in December. I like to call it probably as inefficient market because this timing is too perfect for me. December down until the end of December and then all the way up in January. It's
you mean manipulated market or inefficient market?
Inefficient.
Manipulated.
Inefficient.
Okay. You look inefficient on the way down with the gaps and so forth. The market structure
correct.
Couldn't really give you some, that to me is a kind of a danger sign when you don't trade through there, but you're gapping through there. Shows that there was nothing to absorb the selling for a while anyway, until
correct.
I don't know. Maybe Draghi went in and did something.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. So what's a Balkan? What's Balkan?
That's bar. One bar, one candle, one candle.
Okay. Okay. Oh, the 144. Okay, I got it.
144 bars equals 210 calendar days in this particular.
Okay. Cool. All right. So it's Balkan Austrian for bar?
Bar, yeah. So it's either the trading days, one trading day represents one bar in the daily chart. So it's either those 144 trading days or the 144 calendar days. Yeah.
Okay. So do you just trade your own account or do you have a business model, website? No. If so, just you trade for yourself.
I trade for myself since 2016. I quit as a fund manager by then because it was kind of boring. Buy stocks, sell stocks, over-regulated, bureaucratic, and I
You
feel
like
much more
liberty.
comfortable.
You like
I like,
freedom. You're a maverick. You like to
yes,
have.
yes,
So time is your most precious currency, isn't
yes. That's
it?
absolutely
All
right.
right. All right. So you don't have a website, and you're on Twitter for what purpose and mission? Sharing your work. Why do you do it?
Because I think the finance community can learn from every trader and each other. That's my mission.
Okay.
And I think Twitter is the most effective tool for that.
Okay. So you're doing it to kind of. I know that when I put out forecasts, you're more accountable when you put it out there, because you're really
I'm not
putting thought
perfect.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
no
not
one is.
I'm far away from perfect.
Yeah, no one is.
But let's see.
Only God, bro.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so your call here. Anything else besides the DAX that's on your radar right now?
I trade the DAX actively, but I monitor like the American market and currency markets. But I only trade the DAX actively.
Interesting. Well, you know what? That I tell people. Tell me if you agree. That I knew people on the trading floor that were in one pit for their whole career, for decades, and they knew one market like the back of their hand. And for me, when I start looking at too many things, I lose my focus and concentration. So, do you agree with me that it's a good idea? You could do a lot of screening, but it's best to know, one or two, or at the most three markets that you would trade?
I absolutely agree. I'm a very visual person, and I need those charts. I have a software running in the back for my trades, but I'm a very visual person, and I always see this chart, even when I sleep. So you can wake me up and
You
ask me.
dream about trading? You dream about trading.
No, not dreaming, but it's always on my mind. So it's a big part of my
Oh,
life.
okay. All right.
I
know.
live
Look,
I live trading.
I know. Before we had charts on our computers, Alex, I used to have a paper chart book, and I carried it around with me everywhere I know. I would draw lines and spill coffee on it and everything. So, do you do anything by hand?
I still have it.
You still do it by hand?
I still have a log and to write my thoughts and
okay.
Yeah, everything what is
makes it real.
It makes it real, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can feel it.
Okay, so there you go. Journaling, very important.
Yeah,
Writing down what you did, so you know what to repeat and what to avoid. And something about writing, when I brought up NLP, that's what it is. When you write something down, neural linguistic programming, it has more impact on your it has a higher impact on your mind than just looking at something and not writing it down. So what a great interview, buddy. It was very interesting. You're a very interesting guy to talk to, and I love the esoteric stuff that you do. If you could give one piece of advice to traders to wrap this up, what would it be?
What would it be? Don't get fooled by the stock market.
Okay. All right. So that was Alex's life lesson. So don't get fooled. Do your homework. Prepare. Trade, mini contracts for a long time until you master it. And Alex, your Twitter, I think Alex is a great follow. And you can follow him at you got it up there again? Okay, there it is. Take a screenshot, because otherwise you'll just put extra DAX, but it's XETRA.
Xetra. It's Xetra. It's the electronic trading system of the German stock exchange. So
okay.
Xetra.
All right. Well, you're now my trading warrior, brother. Like it or not, Alex.
Thank you. I'm very happy about that.
All right. Well, really great meeting you, and thanks for sharing your journey. It was very interesting, and all the work you're doing, and the 144 time frame that's due this week. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll have to do this again down the road. Thank you for edifying our community today.
So many more aspects when it comes to Gann. I can't cover it in 30 minutes. So.
Okay. Well, it's a deal and a promise. You'll be back here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Dale.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. So everyone, that's a wrap for our session. Good hunting. The dollar faded. The yen is fading. Remember, most of all, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See everyone tomorrow. You're welcome, Alina. See everyone tomorrow. Thank you again, Alex.
Bye-bye. Thank you.